Among the most important things I've learned is this. The responsibility process works only when self-applied. If you've heard this before, and I hope you have, it's always worth revisiting. What this means is that knowledge about the responsibility process doesn't change me. Only applying the responsibility process to my life will produce results that matter. So when and how do I apply it? That's what I want to share with you. I get to apply the responsibility process every time something goes wrong. When things go wrong, the responsibility process gets triggered and things go wrong every day, all day. I can't find the mate to the sock. I have to fill up the car before I can get where I'm going. My teammate didn't complete what she said she would. Or worse, I got laid off. We can't make the mortgage payments. I'm given the opportunity to practice responsibility for my life many times every day. What does that mean? It means consciously choosing many times a day between being free, powerful, and at choice, or being trapped, powerless, and without choice. The question is whether I recognize the opportunity to practice and take it, or do I not recognize it and miss it? Here are some examples. If I'm upset at someone and blame them for my unhappiness, I get to remind myself what a powerless mental place that is and move off of it. If I'm upset at circumstances like the traffic, the weather, politics, the company culture, I get to remind myself that believing this story keeps me stuck with the problem, coping with my powerlessness. Or I can stop justifying and start to see how to take ownership of this situation and change it. If I'm feeling guilty and ashamed of making a mistake and getting myself into trouble, I get to remember that there isn't anything wrong with me. I'm a perfectly flawed human being, and humans make mistakes. I can beat myself up for being human, or I can get off of it so I can get the lesson and take effective action. And if I'm feeling trapped in a burdensome situation that I don't want and don't know how to change, like a stupid meeting, a toxic job, or stressful debt, I can remember that I probably had some role in setting and closing the trap on myself. That means I can also open the trap if I'm willing to. Each time I apply the responsibility process throughout my day, I'm reminded of my power and my ability to both get myself into problems and to get myself out of them. Each time I do it, I learn and grow. I overcome something that upset me in all of my yesterdays. And because I faced it and took ownership, it may not upset me ever again. Or maybe I'll catch the upset earlier and earlier in the future until I'm free of it. So here's something else worth hearing again and again. We're taught to think of responsibility as a character trait, that is, being a good member of society. I assume you and I can check that box. We qualify. However, for me and those who study responsibility with me, responsibility is more than a character trait. It's a practice, and we get to practice every day, all day. And every time we practice, we empower ourselves and often provide leadership for others. Knowing about the responsibility process is sort of cool and even inspiring, but it doesn't hold a candle to practicing. Consider this. Most people who learn about the responsibility process never develop a practice. They say, it's a cool model, but I'm not very good at it. Or worse, they say, I told my fill in the blank, boss, spouse, sibling, child about it, but they didn't change. Did you know Olympic athletes don't train more than other athletes? They train differently. In terms of developing yourself, be willing to train differently. Develop your responsibility practice.